Hey there, this is Mark, and I am here at home, and I am going to do my reading from the Golden Present Daily Inspirational Readings by Sri Swami Satchidananda. And it's late, it's 11:35 p.m., and I'm committed to maintaining this plan now. I'm reading the day before so I can post it tomorrow. And I did just get to post the other one, but I started to do this reading and I goofed and I went to June 16th in the book. And so I'm doing another one, but it's July 16th. And the topic is, in a way, everything is selfish, no doubt. Selfishness is when you feel, I must have it at any cost. Use your discriminating faculty. Analyze your motives. Why am I selfish? What am I gaining out of that? By being selfish, you are not going to be happy at all. Selfishness makes you miserable. At any time you are unhappy, if you look for the cause, you will see that you are selfish in doing things, in your approach, or in your thinking. That's why a selfish person can never, never, never be happy. In a way, everything is selfish, no doubt. Even wanting to be peaceful at all times is selfish. You want peace and health so that you can grow spiritually. It sounds selfish, but that kind of selfishness is not wrong. If you find the peace in you, people all around you will be benefited by your peaceful nature. Even if you don't consciously do anything for them or say anything to them, you will be setting an example, and they will learn from your example. So that is a sort of selfless selfishness. Yeah, that's a nice distinguishing nuance between selfishness and selflessness. Being selfless, being selfish. And I actually remember having a conversation years ago with a former boyfriend about the idea of taking care of yourself first before you take care of others. And in the discussion, we talked about how that seemed selfish and that he had grown up with the idea of taking care of others first and then think about yourself after. And after some going back and forth about this, we started to be able to understand how it was important to go in the order first of taking care of yourself, because by taking care of yourself, you are able to then take care of others with more strength, with more of a grounded nature, rather than what could lead into a codependency that's not healthy. Putting others on a pedestal even, or having them feel like they're your reason for being. And there is part of a spiritual path with that too, of this bhakti yoga, this devotional practice of loving others and just sort of thinking of others as being divine beings and just giving everything to them. But even in that, I find that the understanding of that kind of practice, that bhakti practice, is that we are spiritually fit, taking care of ourselves first for the basic and necessary needs, and then being able to give everything over. Now, it could also go different directions, but I would say what Swami Satchidananda is saying here too is that even when we want to do this, we want peace, we want things, in a way we're wanting those for ourselves. There's a sense of we're trying to grab onto something that's for us, but with an intention that is being done so that it can enable us to be of higher service, to be able to be healthy and strong, so that we can be at our best and share that part of our essence, part of our nature, that alone resonates and offers service. So I appreciate this. Even wanting to be peaceful at all times is selfish. You want peace and health so that you can grow spiritually. But that kind of selfishness is not wrong. If you find peace in you, people around you will be benefited by your peaceful nature. And I can think of, like the swamis at Integral Yoga. I recognize the work that they've done and are doing. It's very palpable when you're around them. You can almost feel comforted just simply by being in their presence, by their very being. And you can sense when it's not quite as um, resonant in someone, where there's a bit of a, either like they're caught in their minds or their thoughts. Yeah. So versus someone who sort of drops into the heart space, and you can feel what it's like to be around someone who's in the heart space, and maybe they're not so much in the mind space. Yeah. So it's that, I like this. It's a fine, um, can be a fine line in how we look at how we're taking care of ourselves, because it certainly can fall into overindulging, over uh, consuming, even becoming obsessive. Sometimes I think I might be borderline with that, with my diet and the way I choose to eat. And sometimes I do indulge, in eating so many good foods all at once. And that's not really my highest self relating to all that. Sometimes um, I do go overboard. It falls in, that's being selfish or even gluttonous. So finding that right balance, even when it's a good thing, is a challenge. And that's why it's so important for me to have a practice that almost is like this check-in, and sometimes even can work like a reset button. So I can go, oh, okay, that's what was happening there. Let me bring in that mindfulness again. So when that opportunity arises another time, I can have that memory close at hand, rather than just sort of unconsciously letting stuff happen. Start to recognize some of these patterns. And it's all for the efforts in being able to generate a more peaceful way of living. And while that, can be seen as selfish, I do recognize here how he's saying that's, it ends up being for building stronger, clearer relationships, that are based on this intention for peace, rather than based on this experience of being gluttonous or agitated or paranoid, or, those other states of mind. All right. Speaking of states of mind, mine's going to start to go